Hi Jen, how are you? Hey Moira. There's a plane going over, it's a bit noisy. So I've got a few people on so far. Just say hello and where you are in the world. Hey Jade, how you going? I am back home in Australia. This is the view from my house. This is my lower deck. I've got a deck up there as well. And this is all the bushland around my house. And the pool, grubby pool. They need to come out and fix it. So, I am still a bit sick, as you can tell by the coughing. But I just had a client not show up for a call, so I thought I would jump on a live stream. So, I wanted to talk about why most people don't succeed in business. Now, there's a lot of reasons, but the one that I wanted to talk about that I've seen a lot recently is about people, is basically about people who won't invest in themselves, or they invest in the wrong things, okay? And this all comes back to mindset as well. Awesome, Jade. Never been to Newcastle. So basically, I was having a conversation with someone recently, and I've seen this time and time again, okay? So it's not bagging out one person. This is something that happens a lot, and it's something that I've done in the past as well. Well, not this specific thing, but anyway, let me tell you. So someone had booked in for a sales call with me recently. She ended up cancelling the sales call, said that she was really struggling, going through some personal stuff, and that she didn't have any money at the moment as well. So fair enough, like, people have times where they struggle in their lives, and that's okay. Well, it's not nice, obviously, but it's totally fine to have to cancel that. Now, what I saw a few days later on Facebook, though, was this person who's struggling, who is a single mum and has no money, had then gone out and bought a brand new car. A car, you know how they have them in the showrooms with the bow around them and everything. Brand new car. And you know, what I see, if someone is not willing to invest in themselves to make more money, if someone's not willing to do the work, not only with money, but with time and energy and commitment, and commit themselves 100% to their business, then they're not going to succeed in business. If they're more interested in buying a new car, or going out clubbing on the weekend, or procrastinating on Facebook, or binge watching Netflix, or wasting their money and not learning about money management, and not learning about their mindset, and not investing not only in their business development, but their own personal development. If someone's not willing to do those things and they go and spend that money on a brand new car, then they're not going to create the success that they want in business. And you know, this is what I see time and time again. I see it with people who are not doing well, who are struggling in business and life. And I also see it with people who have just done quite well, but have only done well for a short period of time. Hey Hannah, how you going? So people that have done well for a short period of time, and I have this with my clients, and I did this myself last year as well, where they get some really good wins. They might make get to $1,000 a week in their first couple of weeks of coaching with me. They might get to 10 grand a month within a few, thanks Hannah. Hey Michael, how you going? They might get to 10 grand a month within 3 to 6 months of coaching with me. People can get really, really fast results. Yes, there's things in business that take time to build up, I really believe you've got to be in it for the long run. You can't just expect to click your fingers and everything lands in your lap like it starts raining money or something. But you can, and a lot of my clients, and myself included, have got really fast results. But, you know, for me, for example, I got really fast results last year. God, my hair's going crazy. I went from 10K a month to 40K a month in about 4 months last year. But people don't see the 5 years that I was in business before that to get to that stage. Yeah. I had multiple businesses. I've only been in this business for 4 years and been in business in total for 6. But, you know, that was me investing in myself for 6 years. That was me working on my mindset and my personal development for 6 years or 5 years at that stage. That was me creating an amazing lifestyle. Hey, Sarah, how you going? That was me doing the work day in, day out, building a database, building a following, giving people massive value so that I could get from 10K to 40K quite quickly. Yeah. It wasn't that I'd been in business for 4 months and I did that. It doesn't work like that. And so I see people that are like Sarah's one of my clients on here right now. She's just gotten to over 10K a month. Yeah. And so I see people getting these great results and then they start making a bit of extra money, and especially people who are not used to having money, then they're like, wow, I've got this money in my bank account. I'm going to go and spend it on whatever. I'm going to go and get a loan on a new car. Hey, man, how are you going? I'm going to go and, get a loan on an expensive car. I'm going to go out and buy a designer dress. I'm going to go out and move to a big property. Yeah. Yes, I'm talking to myself. I'm going to book a holiday. And they go out and they spend all their money and they're back to square one. And then the next month, if they don't have the right mindset, they don't have the right money management, they don't have the right strategy in their business, they go backwards. Okay? Just because you've had your first 10K month doesn't mean that you're just naturally going to make 10K next month. You've got to put the work in. You've got to continue working on yourself. Now, people that are going to make it in the long run are people that are putting money aside each week, putting money aside for tax, putting money into savings, putting money into super, or wherever you want to put it, yeah? Putting money into things that are going to help you reach that bigger picture. It's not just about the quick wins. Most people in life want short-term pleasure, and they're not willing to go through the longer-term pain to get to their bigger goal and that bigger win. Most people don't want to do that. And that's why a lot of people are in debt. A lot of people have debt because they put everything on the credit card or they get a loan for something. A lot of people are overweight because they want that short-term pleasure of eating the food that tastes good. A lot of people have shitty relationships because they're not willing to work on their relationship. A lot of people have a business that requires them to hustle and push every day because they're not putting the foundations in place and the structures in place for bigger business growth. And I'm not just talking to you guys here and anyone else that's watching this. I'm talking to myself, yeah? Because up until recently, I was doing exactly the same thing. So I'm not immune to this, yeah? I'm not some superhuman that is perfect. No one's perfect, yeah? Last year, when I went from 10K to 40K a month, I moved to this big house shortly after that. I was having relationship problems at the time. I still eat out quite a lot. I was saving money for a while, and then I stopped saving money for a long time. I was buying course after course, and in the last 13 months, I traveled 16 times. So my lifestyle kind of got out of hand. I had a personal trainer. Hey Jamie, how you going? I had a personal trainer that I was seeing twice a week, my powerlifting coach. I was getting 2 massages a week. I had a personal chef coming to my house. My lifestyle got crazy. And so it took me a while to calm that down. And how I calmed that down was, instead of focusing on, I want to have this amazing lifestyle, I focused on my relationship. I worked on my connection with myself and my connection with my partner, and worked on myself a lot, and worked on my mindset and my personal development. And I invested in a coach that helped me to focus on the strategy and really simplify things, rather than feeling like I had to do a million different things to grow my business. Okay, so last year I was doing VIP days, and I was doing a lot of different courses. Now I have my low end, my mid-level, and my high end. That's it. Yeah. And if people aren't suitable for my mid-level, then they go into my low end. And my mid-level program, Six Figure System, started yesterday. And my high end, I'm not even opening up until May. People can only join my high end twice a year. And in May, I'll open that up to 10 people, and then I'll close it again for quite a while. So I literally only have 2 things that I'm focusing on. And what happens when you do this? Hey Lee, how you going? What happens when you have just a small focus is it helps you to simplify. And you want to simplify all areas of your life. Yeah? So simplifying your business means not offering a million different programs. It means not just focusing on the hustle of like, I got to make another sale, got to make another sale, got to make another sale. It's focusing on the bigger picture. Okay, yes, every day you should be thinking, how can I give value to someone today, and how can I make more money? Of course. But you need to be thinking about the bigger picture. Okay? And if you're just starting out in business, that might be just getting some cash in, getting some cash flow in, because that's where you're at when you're starting out. But it's good to think about where you want to be. Awesomely. So since I've had like more simplicity, it's changed all areas of my life. This last month, I only worked 3 weeks of the month, and I still made the same amount of money that I made the month before. So it's not about the hours that you put in, it's what you spend those hours on. Yeah? You know, you could be working 15 hours today and spending that 15 hours on crap. Yeah? On responding to people on Facebook. And like, yes, responding to people on Facebook's important, but once you've responded to them, give yourself a deadline of half an hour or whatever it is, and then get off there. If you're just on Facebook and responding to people and responding to emails and notifications, you could do that all day. Who's done that before? Yeah, hands up. Who's spent all day getting back to people before? Because as soon as you get back to them, then they get back to you again, and it's this vicious cycle. So you need to give yourself a deadline and go on there at a time where most people won't be online. Get back to people and then get off and do the other things that are important. You know, I would rather spend a few hours a day working than spending 15 hours just doing crap for the sake of being busy. Yeah. Now, when I was away recently in Europe for 2 months, most of the time I was away, or that whole first month really, I worked only 2 to 5 hours a day. And then the rest of the time, that's not sustainable, I think, for a long period of time, because there's bigger projects that take a longer amount of time to do. So after that, then I was doing some kind of half days as well. But, you know, it depends what stage you're at in your business, and you've got to put the effort in, but don't be busy for the sake of being busy. Anyway, that's a bit of a tangent there. So going back to my original kind of theme of this live stream is that if you are saying that you don't have money to invest in yourself, whether it's with a coach or working on your personal development or getting counseling or whatever it is to become a better version of yourself, if you're not willing to invest in that, then don't complain when you have no clients, when you're not making the money that you want to be making, when your business is suffering, when you go out of business. Don't complain and say that business is too hard or that you just didn't work for you, because you didn't really try. Yeah? And that might sound harsh, but it's true. If you're willing to spend your money on buying a brand new car or a handbag or going out on the weekend, and you're not willing to put the time, energy, effort, money into your business, then of course it's not going to grow at the rate that you want to. So that's number one. Number two, if you've gotten some amazing results in a short period of time, well done, first of all, because that takes some hard work and some effort, so well done. But you want to think about the bigger picture. Just because you got a bit of extra money in your bank account doesn't mean that you've got to go out and spend it. I'm saving $1,500 a week at the moment, and that comes out every Friday as a direct debit, and it just happens. No matter what other bills I've got to pay, that goes out every week. Last month I saved 10 grand and that was over Christmas and whilst I was traveling around Europe. But I made it a priority because I got a big tax bill coming up. So it's not even going to anything exciting. Yeah. So that's number two. You want to think about the bigger picture. You want to work on your mindset, work on your money management, and think smartly. Okay. And then number three is simplicity and focus. Yeah. Spend the time on the things that are important in your business so that you can grow. Think about this as a long game. You know, something Kerwin Ray says, the average that it takes someone to make 7 figures in Australia is 10 years. Most people want quick wins. They want things yesterday. Yeah. Most people aren't willing to put in 10 years. You've got to be willing to put in that 10 years. Think about the big picture. And, you know, if you get results quicker than that, then that's just a bonus. But don't be expecting these fast wins like right now. Yeah. A lot of people will put up one Facebook ad and expect the leads to be flooding in. Yeah. If you're thinking about the bigger picture and you don't have those expectations and you're just taking action daily, and then you do have 100 leads come in, or you have 20 leads come in, or whatever it is, that's just a bonus. But don't be expecting it. Be patient, do the work, be consistent with the work, and it will snowball and build up over time. Before I go, and I'll add more to that in a second, but before I go, does anyone have any questions or comments for me on this or anything else? Hey Stephen, sorry, I'm just wrapping up, so make sure you watch the start of this. Does anyone have any questions or comments before I go? And just to add to that simplicity and focus thing, you can do that in so many different ways, yeah? So minimize the programs or the products or services that you're offering. You don't have to have hundreds or thousands of clients. Maybe it's better for you to have 50 clients who are paying you more and just really give as much value as you can to them. On the weekend, and this doesn't just apply to business as well, this can apply to all areas of your life. If you have 1 million different bank accounts, just simplify it down to just a few. On the weekend, my partner and I and the kids cleared through the house. We watched the Minimalist documentary recently, and we listened to the Minimalist podcast as well. And on the weekend, we cleared out a heap of my books, a heap of the kids' books and toys and clothes, and we're getting rid of a heap of stuff. And so, you know, the less things that you have, the less clutter you have in your house, the less clutter you have in your brain. But also, it means you spend less time tidying up. You spend less time sorting through things. There's just less time dealing with other shit in your life, so you have time to focus on the important things. Okay, cool. Thanks, Jade. I'll have to check it out. So, you know, when I was away, my mentor was speaking about decluttering things in your life. And I wasn't at home, so I couldn't do any physical things, but I did a digital declutter. So I got rid of over 1,100 emails from my inbox, and I unsubscribed from a heap of things, and I deleted over 300 Facebook friends. So there's lots of things you can do digitally, physically, and mentally as well. Michael said, any tax tips? So what specifically, Michael? Like on saving for tax? Hey Roger, how you going? Do you mean saving for tax, Michael? So here's what I do whilst I'm waiting for that. Here's what I do. Okay, yeah, but anything specific, Michael, around that? So here's what I do. I have a financial advisor, and he really helped me a lot. With my bank accounts, I have, basically, I have an account. Hey, Nick, how you going? I have an account that goes into, so all my money goes into one account, and then I distribute my money into different accounts from there. So basically, I've worked out my household budget and I've worked out my business budget. And so for my household budget, all my bills are set up as direct debit. And then anything that's not direct debit, which is food, fuel, and entertainment, which works out to be around $500 a week for me, for my family, goes into a separate account, and I just use that account. Then I have a certain amount of money that goes into savings each week, and I have money that goes into my business account that I can spend on business-related things. So I was doing 30% a week for tax, just because I've got a big tax bill coming up, and I have to put aside extra. But I would recommend putting aside 20% a week for your tax. So at the end of the week, you look at your account that your pay goes into, you keep it all in that account, and then you distribute from there into your different accounts of business spending, household spending, and then you put your 20% aside for tax every week. Now, I'm paying my tax at the end of financial year, but after I've paid, so in May I've got to pay last year's, and then a couple of months after that I'll have to pay this year's, and I'm just going to try and pay them both up front. And then from there, moving forwards, I'm going to set up PAYG. So then it's just paid quarterly or whatever it is, so that it's not a big lump at the end of financial year. I also obviously pay GST quarterly as well. So my tax account that I put money into each week, that's for GST and income tax as well. I would recommend setting up PAYG so you don't have to pay it all at the end of financial year. Also, what's cool as well is that if you have overseas clients, you don't have to pay GST on any overseas clients as well, which is pretty cool. You have to pay income tax on them, obviously. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Does that help, Michael? Yeah, cool. Awesome. So yeah, just start with the 20%, and then you can set up PAYG, so you're not paying a big lump at the end of financial year. So for me, for example, my accountant got my tax down a lot, actually. So I got to pay 19 grand in May, and then I probably got to pay about 50 grand or so in June or July. So it's a lot of money. So that's what I'm saving for at the moment. But yeah, if you know, and the thing, from a mindset perspective as well, if you're putting money aside for tax every week and it's going into a tax account, you don't want it to go into a savings account, because then you feel like when you have to pay tax, oh, all my savings is gone. So from a mindset perspective, if it's going into an account that's called tax, you know that it's for tax. You know that it's not for something else, and then you feel shit about it when it's gone. And also, you don't feel shit about paying the tax man when the time comes around, because you've got a different perspective on it. It's like, yeah, well, that's just the money that goes aside for tax every week, yeah? Rather than not having the money there. The only time you can get stressed out about paying a tax bill is if you don't have the money. So make sure you have the money, yeah? It's just as simple as that. Cool. Any other questions, guys, before I go? And if you've hopped on partway through this, make sure you listen to the start. And if you ask any questions afterwards, when I finish this up, I'll answer them anytime as well. Or feel free to send me a personal message at any time as well. Any other questions, guys? Cool. Thanks, Jade. It's like, just to wrap up, I guess, thinking about that bigger picture, for me, like I said before, when I was living that crazy lifestyle of just eating out all the time and having a personal chef and massages weekly and all that stuff, yeah, it's nice. It's a nice lifestyle. I live in a nice house, but it's not necessary, and it doesn't help you plan for that bigger picture. If you're constantly living this lifestyle, what happens when you're not making as much money? What happens if there's a recession? What happens if there's a natural disaster and you lose your house? Yeah? What happens if you get injured or sick and you can't run your business? If you don't have anything there in savings, you're stuffed. Now, I know for me, I'm willing to have discipline now. I'm willing to put a big amount of money aside so I can think about the bigger picture. And, I'm not going without. I'm definitely not going without. But if it means that I only eat out once a week instead of 5 times a week, I'm willing to do that for the bigger picture. And the bigger picture for me is to be able to buy an investment property outright, cash. It's to buy multiple investment properties around the world. It's to start a charity. Something that I've just has kind of clicked with me recently. I want to start a charity for women who are in domestic violence situations, to be able to empower them to build their self-esteem, their confidence, their self-worth, first of all, so work on their mindset, and then offer them a training program to be able to empower them to start their own business and learn about how to manage money so they can not only make money but be able to manage it. Because I know a lot of people stay in violent situations because they don't have anything. They don't have any money. They don't have a job. They don't have any savings. And so I want to create a charity to be able to help women, first of all, leave, then build their confidence, and then be able to start a business so they have some money behind them. So I'm not able to do that if I'm going and eating out every week and getting massages every week and all of this stuff, okay? I'm not able to have multiple properties around the world if I'm doing that. So I'm thinking now about that bigger picture, about my higher purpose. And you can't do that if you're just living week to week, yeah? Another really cool example is, and I might talk about this more on another live stream, but a guy I know recently, he supported someone up in Townsville. He's been homeless for 33 years, and he had his caravan taken off him by the church. And this guy, I donated some money to him the other day. But this guy has gone out and he's found a plot of land for this guy, and he's bought a caravan out of his savings, but set up a GoFundMe account that I donated to and other people donated to. He's found him work as a cleaner in a gym, and it's just amazing that this guy lost everything because of a cyclone, because of a natural disaster. But it's amazing to have this community rally behind him, yeah? And, if you're struggling and you're struggling to pay your bills, and it just every week is just trying to find the next bit of money or whatever, then you're not able to think about anyone outside of you. You're not able to give your clients the best support that they need because you're selling from a place of desperation and your content comes from a place of struggle. But if you're working on yourself, you're able to put amazing content out there. You're able to give more of yourself, give more of your energy, give more of your time and your money. But when you've got nothing, you're focusing on survival and you're focusing on yourself. So I don't want any of you to be thinking about survival and selling from a place of desperation and just thinking about the basics. Let's really make a difference in the world, yeah? Let's think about the bigger picture and let's put those foundations in place so that you don't have to hustle every day just for the next sale. Let's put foundations and structure in place so that you can really make a big difference in the world, yeah? Who's with me? Because that excites me, yeah? And I hope that this inspires and excites you as well. So I'm going to head off now. I've got some more calls to do with clients. But thanks everyone for jumping on. If you're watching this afterwards, comment here with any questions or feel free to send me a personal message as well. Talk to you guys soon.